Hey guys, this is Chris with GameStrafe and TGN.TV. We are back with some more Allods online, and this time, by popular request, I am looking at the interface options of the game. And basically what I'm going to do is go clockwise across the screen and just go over all the little aspects of the interface and also discuss some of the features the game has that other games don't. So let's get started. Basically up the top we got a performance and ping indicator. I don't know why it's a little low, I think because Fraps is turned on now, but green's usually good, yellow, and I'm sure red. As you can see, also, one of my actual complaints about the game is that there isn't a mini-map, there's this compass instead. Guys, if you know how to turn on the mini-map and I'm missing it, please let me know. But otherwise, there is this compass. You click on it, it brings up your big map, and your big map is really helpful because it does show you quest locations, and once the quest is done, where to turn it in here with the green flags. As you can also see, there's indicators of what types of quests they are: combat, delivery, talking quests. Shows your little location here with an icon and points of interest within the vicinity. You can obviously switch around to the different locations. Well-designed maps, good art. Everything's real good with those. So, typical map. You have your tracker here. This tracker, as you can see, contains HUD elements, basically. So, if I turn off, let's see this icon down here. Turn off quest, it turns that off. Or merchants, these merchants icons here, if I hit those. So basically once I turn, they're down there, so you can see that. We go down, we got our quest tracker information here, more detailed. As you can see, I'm pretty full there. Let's head down to the bag. Bag, basically in this game, you only get one bag. Now to increase your bag slots or to get a larger bag, you gotta go to the cash shop and basically purchase one, or maybe, I don't know, you might get a better bag later on in some bigger quests or whatnot. Let's see, then we've got the crafting slot of the bag here, which is a separate bag for crafting items, and then the item shop bag, which I'll show you a little bit, and then your currency there. A map, once again, also hit it by M. You've got your spell book, which is your skills, which you can drag into the customizable hotbars for each ability. You've got your quest log, which you can go through. It shows you kind of the percentage of the quest that's complete, information about it, rewards, whatnot, as well as your story-based quests and things like that. And let's see, you got a stable for mounts if you are going to actually have any mounts, which I don't right now. Character info, probably the most important aspect we're going to look at today here, is your paper doll. Quite typical there, but let's take a look at how many slots we got here. We got the head slot, shoulder, back, chest, gloves, belt, pants, boots. We've got a charm, ears, neck, regalia, a t-shirt, which actually gets worn underneath your chest armor, which is really cool, a wrist, 2 rings, and a trinket. This is where your bag goes. You got your weapons. And of course here you have an aesthetics slot, basically, which controls, let's see, if you've played Lord of the Rings online, you know that you can wear an outfit over top your actual armor with stats. So basically you can control the looks of your character at any level, and I'll show you how that works. As you can see, I'm level 12, and I don't look horrible for level 12, but you know, it's whatever, it's not that big a deal. But you know what, I want to look cool, because MMOs are about looking cool. Well, let's make ourselves look badass, let alone cool. As you can see, big difference. I've got my Vanquisher armor here, which is a class armor for the warrior or vanquisher. And as you can see, yeah, quite a big difference. Now, where did I get this cool armor? And you know, how can you get some? And I'll cover that actually when I actually cover parts of the cash shop, because it does have to do with the item shop. Yes, you can get this stuff out of auction houses and from other players. It is 100% tradable, and it's not as hard to get, but it can cost you sometimes either gold or real life currency. And really, if you guys are interested in learning about that, I will cover that in my next video when I go over the cash shop and auction house in great detail. But let's continue on from there. So let's look at here another important part here, the stat area. This shows you with these star icons what stats are most important to me as a warrior or vanquisher, and it shows you here. And it also shows you this little down arrow here. It's pointing animated down. It's saying this stat is very low for your level, so that means that I should probably work on this luck ability here as I level up the next time and put a point into that and get it. It tries to keep you within balance of these blue abilities and the star ones, which are most critical to you, and then these ones which aren't that important to you. So it helps you out with your stats, which is really cool because no games really do that. You're kind of like, well, I don't know what's good for me, and you typically know if you're a warrior, yeah, strength, but sometimes the other things you don't know so much about. So it's cool that this game outlines what's good for your class. We got a currency tab here, which shows everything that you have as far as all the different types of currency. Reputation, of course. Professions, if you have any. I don't. Resistances are down here. Moving right along, we've got our action bars or hot bars here, which are very customizable. You got here, similar to WoW. You've got a combat advantage bar, which fills up as, for me anyway, as a warrior, fills up as I'm fighting, which allows me to open up new abilities and use them to fight. Think of it as rage in a way, I suppose, in WoW. If we go down here, we got a calendar, which is a full feature calendar. There's a lot of things that you can post up on it, and a lot of the events that are going, rewards that are being given, and things like that. So it's a little bit more in-depth calendar than I've seen in other games. Skill tree. You have one tree, it looks like, in this game instead of 3 or 2, whatever. But then you have these tactic or talent grids, which you got to use rubies as a currency in order to open up these different grid pieces, which is another way of customizing your character, which I haven't fully explored yet, but it seems a little bit more simplistic, but you can get more advanced here with that, so it's nice to have those types of options as well. You've got your social panel, standard fare, friend list, ignore list, guild list, bulletin boards, which you can use in the cash shop to post different bulletins about what's going on. Guild announcements, these are guilds, as you can see, they're saying they're recruiting and things like that. You've got your settings, video, advanced video, so it's got a fairly large amount of options for the game engine. Again, the game engine, as you can see, I've got 4 times anti-aliasing. I can actually, when I had these maxed out, the only time that I've found any performance issues is kind of when you get near the auction house. So I dumbed them down, but even having, I usually only run 2 times AA in most games, but this game, the engine is so smooth, you can run these max settings. And so everything else I have maxed out. Audio, interface, hotkeys, so no shortage of options. We got your little tips book, which here you can turn all that off. Newbie stuff mostly. The cash shop or the item shop, which I'm actually going to cover this item shop in a completely separate video along with the auction house. So we'll get into that later, but that's there. You got your chat interface, which is pretty standard fare there. We've got emotes, which you can see here, which they actually have some really nicely animated emotes. I don't know what he said. Anybody know Russian, what he said? So, call out. So some really nice animations there. And then you got emoticons as well, which I only have seen really in social-based games and not really fantasy. So it's kind of interesting to see these little emoticons. Let's move up. Character portrait, flag of war for PvP, on or off, health, this is energy or mana depending on your class, and you got your XP bar here, which there's something interesting in this game I'll cover now. The pink represents my normal experience. There's a light blue which you might not be able to see too well, that's just creeping up, and then the dark blue which is empty. The light blue is actually called fatigue. In this game, instead of rested XP, there's fatigue, and it's the opposite. In this game, the more you fight mobs, the more fatigue you acquire. So, basically, think of it as double XP. As you're playing, you're getting fatigue and normal XP. So, in theory, if I reach 50%, 75% XP, my fatigue bar will be ahead of my normal XP. So let's say I got 75% normal XP. I get fatigue that's in a light blue. I can see that and go, okay, I go to an innkeeper character, NPC, and give him some coin, and basically he turns that fatigue into XP. And then after that, it in theory, I can level up off of the fatigue. So again, you're getting rewarded for actually playing instead of being rewarded for being logged off. So it's actually a nice incentive or bonus to have that going on as well. And it's a new feature I've not seen in an MMO before, so it's definitely hands down original. Give them props for that. So it's really cool. Now, see this Ulf's Blessing. Now, there's a patronage system in this game as well, which is kind of like a god or deity system. In this game you have martyrs, I believe, which basically pass on blessings and things to you based on your different classes. As you can see, this is also another thing that I think is trying to get real-life currency out of you in terms of using things like incense and whatnot to activate these prayers or blessings. That, as you can see here, damage bonus 50%, healing bonus 50%. For 7 hours. I think I enacted this yesterday, so I don't know if it was like a 24-hour thing. Again, I'm not 100% sure on how the blessing stuff and the patronage system works yet, but I'm sure I'll figure it out a little bit more. But it's an interesting feature. I hear it becomes more valuable as you level up. And of course, since it is a free-to-play MMO, there are going to be things that require you to maybe pay a little or work harder at your end goal and result with that. So guys, I think that's it for basic coverage of the Allods Online interface. Some things new, some things different. Some things good, some things bad. But join me in my next video as I really take a look at the item shop, as well as the auction house and vendors, and kind of look at some of the things that make those unique and different from pay-to-play MMOs and other free-to-play MMOs, and how this game actually stands out a little bit more in terms of those features. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this installment. I will actually have another one up shortly. Look for me more on gamestrafe.tgn.tv to be able to track my videos specifically, and then also follow us on tgn.tv, as well as using keywords like TGN, anything. For any game you're interested on YouTube, you'll find pretty much every channel we have. World of Warcraft, more Allods, up-and-coming games from all kinds of publishers, Rift even. We got the #1 Rift channel going on. So much content you're just not going to find anywhere else. You'll never be bored, trust me. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks a lot. I will see you later. Peace out.